At this time, I would like to invite two of Floyd's legislative colleagues to come to the podium. I'd like to invite Senator Mike Gambrell and Representative Ann Parks. Senator Gambrell was Senator Gambrell was Floyd's suite mate, and they really had a very good relationship and continued to have that really good relationship, became fast friends as they shared office space in Columbia. And so I'm delighted that he and Renee are here tonight. Renee, Renee is right up there, and Senator Gambrell right behind me. And Representative Parks and Floyd go back so far. She gives him credit for talking her into running for office the first time. He told her when she ran for city council the first time that it would only take a couple hours a month. And you know that she could do that. And so she's been running ever since. So she gives him credit for that. So at this time, I would invite them to come to the podium.
Come on up here, man. Folks, thank you so much for letting me be a part and Representative Parks be a part of this celebration. You know, as we go through life, we meet people who are what I call genuine people. And the first time I walked into the Senate in 2016, I didn't know where the bathroom was. But I met this man right here. And I knew after talking to him for 5 minutes that Floyd Nicholson was the real deal. And he continues to be the real deal. He was a mentor to me in the Senate. By the way, Kathy couldn't be here tonight. I don't know how many of you remember Kathy Leary, Kathy Marsh, Greenwood. She's in her 49th year in the Senate. But she was Floyd and I's legislative aide, and she's forgot more about the Senate than I'll ever know. But, you know, I can't say enough about Floyd. When I call somebody genuine, it's the highest compliment you can give. You know, I would watch Floyd. You know, lots of times, Floyd told me something when I first got elected, and I'll never forget it. He said, Mike, you got elected as a Republican, and I'm a Democrat. He said, but when we're down here, we represent everybody. And we need more people like that. Nation's capital. And I've never forgotten those words, Floyd. You know, him and Mamie have become good friends with Renee and myself. And I can't say enough good things. Floyd was, like I say, Floyd was one of the floor leaders in the Senate. We would watch. Sometimes you don't really know how you're going, what you need to do on this bill. You watch that man right there, you know what to do. He always did the right thing. And he told me one time, he said, Mike, he said, you vote your conscience, and you listen to your folks back home, and you go home and lay your head down on the night at bed and sleep. You've done the right thing. And I think about that a lot. I really do. But for those, Floyd has lived and seen things that we can't imagine. You know, from mayor to Floyd, I hope you don't mind me telling the story, but on the anniversary of the South Carolina State massacre, Floyd was there. He was at school when that happened. And he would get up every year and tell that story. And let me tell you something, you talk about something that tugged at your heartstrings, there wasn't a dry eye in that chamber when he would tell what they went through. It was incredible. But to hear it from somebody that was really there and went through it, it meant that much more. But Devil's Wing show up? Well, I heard Tiger Ray. But you know, like I say, Floyd took me in, and he was a mentor to me. He helped me through my first 4 years in the Senate, and now I've been there 7. But I think of the lessons that I learned from Floyd Nicholson every day of my life, and I'll never forget it for what he meant to me and what he and Mandy both still mean to Renee and I. I just can't thank you enough. Ms. Parks, your turn.
It is an honor for me to be here tonight, and I want everybody to know I started out with first Councilman Nicholson. Then he went to Mayor Nicholson. Then he went to Senator. But when he was councilman, he's the one that talked me into it. And maybe didn't tell the truth. He told me it wasn't going to be but an hour. And to this day, I've not seen that hour. But he is the reason that, and the person that really talked me into running for office. And I soon began to realize that there was not anybody that man did not know. And I don't care where we were. We could be upstate, we could be up north, or we could be at a convention, Hilton Head, anywhere, but he always saw somebody that he knew. So I began to travel with him and Mamie so much that I told them that I was the other child. And I told the boys were my brothers. But it's just, he never meets a stranger. He has never met a stranger. When we would attend conventions and different things, he knew more than half of the people when we left than he did when he got there. But it was always amazing to me that I don't care, and we wouldn't necessarily have to be, we could have gone out to get something to eat in the restaurant. He sees somebody that he knows or they know him. So that's the kind of person that is always available. And I've never seen anybody that if he could help him, he would help him. I've never seen anybody that he would not try to help if he could help. And I admire that in him. But it's just thankful to be here tonight to see this. And now I know I can call it 24/7. Because a lot of people ask me, and he's still very active in the community, but a lot of people had asked me since he was not in the Senate, well, how's Floyd? What is Floyd doing? I said, Floyd's fine. He's doing what he wants to when he gets ready. And that's a privilege to be able to do that. So and I want to thank all of you for coming, because the number of people that are here tonight and the people that I see says a lot about his character. It says a lot about him being a citizen of Greenwood. So I'm going to give you permission that if you got a problem, you can call him, because he's in the But thank you for working with you for all these years. I appreciated it. And I'm sorry Kathy couldn't be here today. And I've talked to her several times. But I just thank you for all you do, all you've done, and all you're still going to do. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Representative Parks and myself have got a very special honor tonight. As you know, the state of South Carolina has several awards that's given out to civilians who have given of their lives and their times for the betterment of our state. The highest of these awards is called the Order of the Palmetto. South Carolina, the grateful recognition of contributions and friendship to the state of South Carolina and her people, I do hereby confer upon Floyd Nicholson the Order of the Palmetto and all the rights and privileges appertaining thereof. Wow.
Thank you. First, I just want to thank everyone here for giving me the opportunity to serve. You know, life is all about developing relationships. It's all about developing relationships. And the thing about it, you never get anywhere in life all by yourself. It's about other people assisting you. And I'll tell you, growing up, my mentor, my hero, and the one that I admired the most was my brother. Sister, the reason why, you know, my father died, I was 6, and he was only 9, 3 years old. So mother was out trying to earn a living to provide our necessities, bare necessities. My sisters also. So who I had to spend all the time with? My brother. And that's who I emulated. He carried me, we went together. We did yard work together, and I never will forget one instance. Me and my brother did a lot of yard work with some of the people my mother and sisters worked for. So this house over on Phoenix Street, one Saturday, we were doing yard work. And you know, now we're talking back in the 50s and 60s. You know how things were. So we were doing work this day, and it was lunchtime. And the man came out and said, okay, lunchtime, you all come on in and get some lunch. My brother looked at me and I looked at him. I said, you the oldest, what you gonna do? But there's our first instance, inviting us inside to sit at the table with them to eat. You know, we're talking about the late 50s and the 60s, how things were. You know, you talk about people, what were your aspirations? What were your goals when you're growing up? You know, for those, you know, living in the 50s and 60s, we didn't have many goals or aspirations during that particular time. You know, but one of our favorite songs we would always listen to was Sam Cooke. A change is gonna come. A change is gonna come. You know, when we were listening to that, things began to change. You know, I followed him. He played football. You know, go to the games. He played football, basketball, and track. I think he did all of those to try to get away from me, you know. But you know, I always looked up to him, so I played football. Didn't have the basketball skills, but I ran track. You know, he went off to college, played football, I followed. He majored in biology, I majored in biology. And you didn't know it. He came back to Greenwood and taught school at Greenwood High, the first year of integration, biology and science. I came 2 years later in 1972. Biology and science. You know, but during that time, we started building relationships. You know, I started relationships back in 1961 when we went to Brewer. My classmates, we started developing relationships. You know, when we went to college, I developed relationships. When I came back and started teaching at Greenwood High, developed relationships. You know, with the teachers, with the students, the parents, and everything. And those relationships made an impact on my life. They really made a change in developing those relationships at Greenwood High School. And I'll tell you, one of the greatest relationships that I got from Greenwood High School was my wife, Mamie. And you know what? She was not at Greenwood High School. She did and I worked at Greenwood High School. You know how it happened? Through her sister. I was a young coach there. You know, I was teaching 5 biology classes, coaching football, had all these papers to grade. So during lunch or planning, I'd stay in my room to try to grade some papers. Football players would come by my room, you know, talking, Coach Nick, how you doing? A lot of students that developed a good relationship with students, they would come by the room, hey, Coach Nick, how you doing? She had a sister dating one of the football players. One time came by and said, Coach Nick, I have a sister I want you to meet. She didn't know hardly anything about me. She had just met me through her boyfriend. And you know what? We met and it clicked. And the main thing I can tell you all, you know, a lot of people go to church and they talk about promised land. I tell you, good things are in the promised land. Because Mamie was in promised land, I went and got her. But the thing about it, she left. I hope we can get back the second time. But you know, through the relationship, you never know the outcome when you form good relationships. So I formed those relationships at Greenwood High School, at Burton Center, working with the clients and the parents there. Relationships, everywhere, relationships. And I always tell my kids, how far you go in life depends upon your people skills. You have to have people skills. And it's important to develop good people skills. And I tell you, say, I think back on the record, a change is gonna come. When change happens, you have to change. You have to change. You know, I always think about Michael Jackson's song, Man in the Mirror. Go look in the mirror. I looked in the mirror. I had to change. You know my changes? You have to let go. Yep. You know, I was upset about the Orangeburg massacre, what happened, the way things were happening in society. But sometimes you have to let go of those things. I don't care how upset I was about it, it wasn't going to change. It has happened. But what you can do is try to get involved to make sure things don't happen again. Yeah. So that's what drove me. Let go of those things. You know, there are so many people who cannot let go. And if you don't let go, you cannot grow. You know, you live in the past. That's why they call it past. It's something beyond. You have to let go. You know, I know in the 50s and 60s the way things were. I can remember, but I don't have to live in it. And you get to know people for yourself. We have too many people living on preconceived conceptions about people. That's what they say. Get to know them yourself. And it'll make a difference. You know, so I just thank God for all of you, for the people that I've had, the relationships that we have built. And I pray that the things I've worked on with other individuals have done things to enhance the quality of life for other individuals. You know, it's never been about me. Whenever I ran for office, I say, if I'm not successful, maybe somebody behind me can do it. Pave the way for somebody else. But be willing to step out and make a difference. And if it's in God's will, it'll happen. Amen. And I cannot thank God enough for this individual, my wife, the support. The support from her, my brother, sister, my kids, I'm always the support that they've given me. And like I say, it's not about I, me, and myself. It's about we and us. What we can do together. You know, it's about serving humanity, helping other people. And I'll tell you, I learned that from my mom. My mom did work to provide for us. Didn't have anything, But you know what? I never heard her complain. I never heard her speak bad about other people, the way things were. She did whatever she could, and she was always willing to help somebody else. We didn't have a car, we walked everywhere, you know, but it was about helping somebody else. And Mom always said, if you want to go far in life, treat people the way you want to be treated. Regardless. That has always been my philosophy, to treat people the way I want to be treated. And I thank each one of you for what you have been in my life, and I pray that we will continue to work together for the betterment of all individuals, to make the world a better place for all. Thank you.
Before we let you go back to the food and the fellowship, I wanted to, he talked about working together. Every time he ran for office, his slogan was, "Together we can." This order of the Palmetto did not come on its own. This was a team effort. And you may not believe it, I call them the odd couple. I had nothing to do with it. They did this on their own. Dr. Ann Hancock, who is as Republican as you can be, and Dr. Betty Rose Horn, a Democrat, they came together. When those two women got together and approached the governor, he had no choice. He had no choice. He could not say no to those two women. I did call you the odd couple. I did. But they did that, and they called me and told me several months ago that this was happening. And I thought, oh my goodness. And, so these two and the committee, none of the committee members knew about this either. We kept this a secret between the three of us. So he would be surprised tonight. So thank you so much for